Hi, good evening. Welcome to Business Live. Coming up tonight, Cocoa Board announces procurement of non-adjustable weighing scales for all licensed buying companies as JoyNews' Missing Kilos documentary reveals how some firms are shortchanging cocoa farmers. Ghana's cashew sector hit badly by the COVID-19 pandemic. Farmers are lamenting huge losses. We'll bring you a report. And on the Joy Business Van tonight, we are in the Western region where construction companies are taking advantage of the oil and mining boom. We'll touch base with one. Thanks for being with us. Details right after this break. Well, tonight, Cocoa Board is set to procure some non-adjustable weighing scales for all licensed buying companies in the next cocoa crop season. This follows a Missing Kilos documentary, a JoyNews investigative piece, which revealed how some of these companies are adjusting scales to shortchange cocoa farmers. But speaking at a media engagement, Deputy Chief Executive of Operations at Cocoa Board, Dr. Emmanuel Opoku, said this is a preventive measure to halt the practice.
The board has argued that all licensed buying companies, LBCs, who shortchange cocoa farmers have been sanctioned and surcharged for their greedy acts. Deputy CEO of Operations for Cocoa Board, Dr. Emmanuel Opoku, says surveillance has been intensified to safeguard the interests of cocoa farmers.
Cocoa Board has put in place a punitive measure to surcharge any defaulting LBC with a monetary equivalent of the aggregated weight from cocoa sheds across the country that the LBC in question may have shortchanged the unsuspecting farmers.
The importance of sea-level scales are to restrict LBCs from adjusting the weight of cocoa beans. Dr. Emmanuel Opoku argues a nationwide distribution of these scales will be made at a cost to these LBCs in 2021.
The preventive or the reform or preventive measure involves the introduction of the Ghana Standards Authority recommended electronic sealable weighing scales, which meet a set of tamper-proof standards, so that scale adjustments will be a thing of the past. The decision has been taken to import the electronic sealable weighing scales starting this year, 2020, and distribute them at a cost to the LBCs.
The Missing Kilos documentary by JoyNews investigative journalist Kwete Nerte reveals how some LBCs are adjusting scales to shortchange cocoa farmers. The documentary has further raised concerns over the financial security of cocoa farmers across the country.
From cocoa to cashew, and Ghana's cashew sector has been hit badly by the COVID-19 pandemic, with farmers lamenting they have lost huge sums of money after being forced to sell raw cashew nuts at 1/4 the original price. The farmers say produce that should have been sold for about 8 cedis was sold for 2 cedis 50 pesos, making it impossible for them to recoup their investment. Processors also complained the recent lockdown brought the operations to a halt, causing huge monetary losses. Joseph Opoku Gakpo of our Greek Environment and Technology Desk has the rest of the story.
Because of travel restrictions, these expert rice could not come. And government encouraged the local industries by supporting them financially to aggregate and buy these raw cashew nuts and start their business. As I said, some 7 industries have closed down. But because of this government intervention, they are now working. And we think COVID-19, irrespective of its negative effect, on the other side has really helped us locally by reviving our industry.
That's the Ashanti Regional Director of Agricultural Services, Reverend John Menu, speaking about the positive impact that COVID-19 has had on the cashew processing sector. But that is not the full story. Cashew is one of Ghana's major export cash crops besides cocoa, which employs about 400,000 people. The nation earned $378 million from the export of raw cashew nuts in 2019. But 2020 has been a difficult year. Chairman of the German North Cashew Farmers Association, Edward Ajiman, says for a long time they were struggling to get buyers for their raw cashew nuts.
Particularly the COVID-19 has affected us. Those who will come out for them are not coming. And those who have already entered and are buying are feeling reluctant because they know that you can, excuse me, say, chew them. So if he gives you any price, whether you are happy or not, you have to give it up. So in fact, the COVID-19 has affected the sales this year greatly. Though last year was bad, this year is worse.
The spread of the COVID-19 pandemic has forced the world's largest importers of raw cashew nuts, including India, China, and Vietnam, to cut orders as their processing factories closed due to lockdowns. This has caused a glut, forcing the international market price of the commodity to slump by 63% between January 2020 and May. Secretary of the Ghana National Cashew Farmers Association, Clement Anane, says the price at which farmers sell raw cashew nuts has fallen.
Some people who had money took advantage to buy the crops from them as low as 2 cedis 50 pesos a kilogram, whereas the actual kilogram was priced at 8 cedis. And the buyers, even who insisted that they will not take it at 8 cedis, started buying at 7 cedis. So if at a point the price will fall to 2 cedis 50 pesos, then you can understand that whatever sale that is being done, whether they rushing to sell or not, know that they are selling not as a normal price. They are selling as a desperate move to get money to one, address their family domestic needs, and two, to redeem the loans that they have contracted.
President of the Association of Cashew Processors Ghana, Ed Melvin Niai Bonte-Smith, says more needs to be done to rationalize the pricing of cashew.
We also talk about our challenge as the fact that exporters are competing unfairly on the market. They are giving prices that are we can't really buy and process and sell on the export market. So we should investigate that.
He says as local processors, their work as well has been negatively impacted by COVID-19.
Once the lockdown was announced, all factories were shut, especially the indigenous factories. Not because we can't process. It allows us to process because we are in the food industry, but it's just because we can't sell. Because most of our sales are done in the shops, and they need people to go into the shops to buy. And once people are not allowed to come into the shop, then it means you can't process. You can't, because the little money you have, if you buy raw nuts and you process and you only stock the kernels, then there will be trouble.
All right, that report, very concerning, filed by Joseph Opoku-Gakpo. Well, the cashew sales season has ended now, and there are still raw nuts that have not been bought on the farms, we are told. But what strategies are being put in place to ensure this situation does not arise again? Said Osei Akoto is Deputy Director of Crop Services at the Ministry of Food and Agriculture. He joins us via phone to discuss this. Great that you could make time for us this evening. First of all, I'd like to find out from you how the Ministry of Food and Agriculture is taking this development.
Okay, thank you very much. I would say proud to the COVID-19. The Ministry of Food and Agriculture has been proactive in the sense that we have realized all the challenges confronting all the actors along the cashew value chain, including prices, including inadequate processing factories, including the interest rates that are being charged on those who are involved in the trading. So we decided to embark upon a journey called trying to bring a regulation in place. And I'm very happy to say that 3 Crop Development Authority has been established, and it was passed in December 2019, thinking that you could be able to operationalize it by August this year, but unfortunately because of the COVID-19, almost all the activities had halted. Notwithstanding, we are also saying that at least once we have the 3 Crop Development Authority in place, it should be in position to check some of the issues that the farmers are raising. For example, when they talk about pricing, the object of the 3 Crop Development Authority is to be able to have a sustainable environment for production, processing, and trading. And when it comes to the trading, definitely they are going to have a price mechanism. And the price mechanism will establish a minimum price that the cashew raw nuts can be traded. And by so doing, at least the farmers will have a fair price.
But yeah, do we have a timeline as to when the Tree Crop Development Authority will be established?
Well, like I already indicated, all things being equal, we thought you could do that August 2020 this year. But you and I know that under the COVID-19, a lot of activities have been suspended, including this one. Although we have put a team to look at the operationalization of this Tree Crop Development Authority. But moving forward, if you manage to put this before the end of the year, it will help us against the crop next 2020. That's what you are thinking of doing as a ministry.
The bigger picture, I suppose, would be ensuring stable cashew prices for the benefit of farmers and other players in the cashew sector. How are we addressing that?
How do I addressing that?
How is the ministry addressing that?
Well, for now, prior to the passing of this Tree Crop Development Authority, the whole cashew subsector is in the hands of the private sector. Two, there hasn't been any concerted effort to regulate the subsector. So doing, we have other people coming in to buy the raw nuts and export it. People coming from Vietnam, India, Brazil, and China coming in to buy and export it. But you have realized that there's a need to deregulate and develop the sector. And that is why Tree Crop Development Authority has been passed at 1010, and this was done in December 2019. With the hope that with this, it will be able to support all the actors along the cashew value chain in Ghana.
Okay, so based on your explanation, most of the transactions are done by the private sector, you said. So what does it mean for farmers who have lost their monies? What happens to them?
Well, I can say it's just unfortunate. Unfortunate in the sense that although we also agree that it's an infant industry, but at least farmers are getting fair prices before the COVID-19. For example, 2016, 2017, and 2018 cashew production season, farmers were getting between 6 to 7 cedis per kilogram to 8 Ghana cedis per kilogram.
Right.
Unfortunately, yes, unfortunately for us, 2020, things have been different, and you know the reason for that.
Okay, yes, the COVID-19, and that takes me to my last question, because around this time, there's so much talk about local processing. We are seeing the prices go down because we mainly export our products. What is being done in that regard?
Well, I just want to say that as a country, we started developing production alongside processing. Currently, the installed processing capacity of the country is hovering around 65,000 metric tons. And we have about 14 processing centers established in the country. Unfortunately, most of these processing factories have closed down, even prior to COVID-19. And this is accounting for why most of the raw nuts are being exported. If you talk to the actors along the value chain, they will assign a lot of reasons. The most important one is the price that they are offering at farm gate is very, very expensive for the local processors to process and then break even. Besides the high interest rates that are being charged when they go for loans to buy these raw nuts. And some of these, because of that, have closed down their factories. So that is the challenge we have as a country.
I guess we have some more work to do ahead of us. Thanks very much indeed for making time to speak with us. That was Seth Osei-Akoto from the Ministry of Food and Agriculture. Appreciate your time with us tonight. Well, moving on to other news, MTN is asking customers to strictly observe the mobile money regulations to help guard against activities of fraudsters. This follows a recent surge in complaints by some subscribers. A Bank of Ghana report has also revealed that some banking staff were collaborating with individuals to defraud bank customers. But speaking at the launch of Mobile Money Month, manager Elihene said there are some basic requirements that subscribers should also look out for to help deal with the situation. Fredro has more in this report.
MTN Ghana, as part of its Momo Month celebration, has outlined 3 golden rules to customers to escape the schemes of fraudsters. These include non-disclosure of mobile money account PIN to third parties. Do not entertain calls from persons who request to discuss mobile money issues except from MTN. General Manager of MTN Mobile Money Services, Eli Henny, has been sharing the details.
We encourage our customers to observe the 3 golden rules. Stay away from or protect themselves from fraudsters. The first one is do not disclose your mobile money PIN to anyone, and that means nobody. And I keep saying that once we do that, it means our PINs are safe. And do not entertain calls or text messages from anybody who is calling to discuss your mobile money wallet issues with you. Except if MTN is calling you, we will call you with our official number, which is 0244 300,000. And I repeat, 0244 300,000. And let's take note of that. And we should also not allow anyone to do transactions on our behalf, because like I keep saying, if you allow someone to do transactions on your behalf, it means you would have exposed your PIN to that person to complete a transaction. And by so doing, you would have failed on the first and most important part of the golden rule, which is do not disclose your mobile money to anyone. And you must always remember that if you do not participate in a promotion, you cannot win.
The relevance of Momo in COVID-19 world is the theme for this year's Momo Month. As part of activities, MTN says it will reward customers for their loyalty, but essentially, they have given other support to customers to help alleviate the impact of COVID-19 while enticing them to use the digital platform to shoot up Ghana's digital inclusion agenda.
During the period, we have covered transactions from 1 to 100 for free, both for platform transactions and interoperability. We also extended the limits of wallets of our customers so they can hold more money in their wallets. The daily transaction limits have also been increased, and the monthly aggregate transactions have all been increased. This have all been done to support digital transactions, to ensure that people are able to use their money, continues to adapt and innovate consistently to support the growth of the industry. We cannot celebrate Momo Month without rewarding and also encouraging subscribers who have been loyal to the mobile money service. In view of that, we'll be announcing promotions for our customers, our agents, and merchants as part of the celebrations.
Fred Duho reporting for Joy Business.
So the oil and mining boom has brought attention to the capital of the Western region, Takoradi. It is rapidly going into an industrial and commercial hub, and that is good for construction firms such as Stresta Engineering and Construction. It was started by 2 friends who crafted the idea to construct temporary modular structures needed by multinationals. We bring you the story of Stresta on today's episode of the Joy Business Van.
The Joy Business Van, empowered by Joy Business and supported by EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
9 years ago, Philip Kojo Bachman and Michael Apia decided to take the bold step of starting a construction firm. They had no money, just the knowledge they had acquired from school and a bit of exposure in the mining sector, as Michael tells me.
We actually started operating from our houses, from on a dining table, our family dining table. With our laptops, we started putting some pieces of proposals together. We didn't wait for any funds or any money or any seed money to empower us. It's from our own little savings that we had when we were working. And we started actually from the scratch, and there were few families and friends that supported us as well.
Probably one of the best decisions they took starting Stresta Engineering, because a lot has changed in the Western region over the last 9 years. Its capital city, Takoradi, the once sleepy city, has come alive, and there is transformation underway. largely because of the oil find off the coast of Takoradi in 2007. The presence of international oil and mining companies has given birth to new local companies like Stresta to service those sectors.
Actually, we registered a company in 2008 whilst we were still working with Minprog, a consultant that built the Bogoso sulfide expansion tanks. And we registered a company whilst we started operation in 2009 when we started with writing proposals, and through the proposals we had our first shutdown contracts with Abazi Thermal Plant, to precise, TICO, Takoradi International Company, where we did our first fabrication actually they gave us a job for about a week, and within 4 days we have executed.
Delivering on the job would open more opportunities for Stresta Engineering and Construction, providing services in civil and building construction, fabrication and structural erection, among others, for over 15 companies, including the big names Guel, Total, Schlumberger, AngloGold Ashanti, Chevron, and the list continues. But Stresta's temporary modular structures made from abandoned containers are what would interest me.
It's used as accommodations and offices for sites that are a bit far from the mine offices. So these were something that we were actually doing in the mines. And when we came out as a construction company, we realized that there was a demand for it, because companies that were setting up actually needed these containers, offices or temporary modular buildings to set up, considering the advantages that they have. You can move them anytime you want to move and easy to construct. In terms of reusable, you can use them on projects.
And put into good use what could have been waste. Competition is getting tight in the construction space as the city of Takoradi develops.
It requires a lot of effort and hard work to break through such a competition. For us, there have been other bigger companies that we have actually tried to run at par with, and that is where we are looking at going.
It also requires much more financial investment, and so Stresta is poised to deliver on quality and timely whenever they win contracts, just so they remain in business. Recognizing they had to take their business to the next level, they signed on to invest in Africa's capacity building programs, the Business Linkage Program and Business Accelerator Program.
We have enjoyed some benefits from the BAP and the BLP as well. We have a full diagnosis made for us through the BLG by Ernst & Young. All this had come out from the Invest in Africa to diagnose our operations and then come out with the challenges and then how best we can do them. We've given us good practices and best practices around and helping us to be able to actually put this into practice. So that, and this has actually improved on our productivity. It has actually improved on our operations.
In 2018, Stresta Engineering received the Sustainable Business Prize at Invest in Africa's SME Excellence Awards. So how do they intend to sustain the operations with over 50 people as workforce?
We execute a very good job for a client in a safe way, with that speed and with that quality. So before you realize, you have had a referral and a client has called you, and this is one of our strengths, and we are riding on it. We're looking at executing quality job in a safe manner, cost effective, and also with that productivity, that speed of delivery.
If there is anything the two entrepreneurs have learned, it would be that money should never be a hindrance to pursuing your dreams.
And we shot this episode of the Joy Business Van sometime last year. We brought it back to honor the memory of one of the co-founders of Stresta Engineering, Michael Appiah, the guy you see in your shots there. He passed away a couple of weeks ago, and despite the loss to his colleague Philip Bachman and his family, We know Michael will go down in history books as having started something remarkable, and may he rest in peace. More news on our website, myjoyonline.com/business. We leave you with some memories of Michael Appiah from the Joy Business Van production team.